What's up, everybody? James Duggan here with IGN, bringing you some Call of Duty Modern Warfare gameplay from patch 1.07. This patch came out on Friday. I got to spend quite a few hours with it, so I'm going to give you an overview of what had changed, as well as kind of give you my impressions. You are looking at a brand new map. This is Ground War, and this map is called Krovnik Farmland. It's whatever. it's another Ground War map. I enjoy it for what it is. There's definitely a Battlefield vibe going on with Ground War, and now that Call of Duty has been out for some time, I found the Ground War is not my preferred playlist, but it is something I still enjoy. There are a lot of places, even compared to something like Tavor's District, to hide, be it on a roof, in any of these buildings. All of these buildings are totally inhabitable, which is great from a fidelity standpoint. They're all very fleshed out, and it feels very real. But from a gameplay standpoint, as you're about to see as I trigger this chopper gunner, there's some folks running out in the open, and obviously I can kill these tanks, and that's great fun. But just a ton of people in houses, off objectives. Here's what I mean about folks hiding in barns. Look at all the X's, the red X's, camped up in barns. You thought I was the only one? Definitely not. Everybody on this map is camping, and that's just kind of what it lends itself to. But let's get into some of the patch notes while I call in some killstreaks here. So let's talk about things like claymores. Detonating an enemy claymore with bullets is now non-lethal when at full health. We've also reduced the trigger and damage radius and reduced the damage width to better match the trigger width. Claymores, much less annoying than they were before the patch. To be fair, I ran EOD even before the patch, so they weren't really an issue for me, but anytime you run overkill, they obviously are an issue. Battle chatter. This is a really important one. Remove the ability for enemies to hear when they've been called out by the opposing team. So anybody who played any amount of Modern Warfare multiplayer immediately had the same thought when they heard their character yell, "Enemy spotted!" It's like, what the f***, dude, shut up. And now they have. Now they have shut up. We've also adjusted enemy callouts so that they are never from your operator. They are called out by allies still. And basically the width to trigger a callout has been reduced. This is a new map called Shoot House, and this is a classic Call of Duty Team Deathmatch small-scale 3-lane map, and I love it. It is a ton of fun. There's a lot of geometry you can shoot through. This is this one center lane that you can really peek down right at the beginning of the map, and it's a very fun will I not kind of peek, where you either get a couple of kills or you get smoked. And a lot of great flanking routes, as these gentlemen who just died are demonstrating. Unfortunately, they couldn't execute on what they set out to do, but that's okay, you know. I'm going to die here soon anyway, so it's all good. Jumping up, a lot of ways to kind of traverse across the 3 lanes. Very fast spawn swaps, but overall a very fast, frenetic, fun CQC Call of Duty map. Something I really enjoy. And I played this on TDM headquarters as well as Kill Confirmed. There's kind of a Shoot House 24/7 playlist right now, which I really enjoy. And it's just it's a great map. I don't really know what else to say about it, so we're just going to keep talking about some of the other nebula stuff. Footsteps. We've increased the occlusion percentage to filter footstep sounds behind geometry and adjusted footstep volume at a distance. Blah, 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 blah. Footsteps are quieter now. The SMGs overall had some tweaks, as well as the M4 and 7.25 shotgun. And if I can just rifle through my notes and find the SMG changes. So overall, SMGs increased move speed, increased ADS move speed, small reduction in sprint out time. SMGs overall much more powerful than they were, specifically the Uzi, which got increased damage range. LMG nerf, I wasn't running into a lot of LMGs that were kind of pissing me off before the patch, but you know, the folks who are making these adjustments have access to a bunch of metrics that I don't, just from the normal course of play, so I trust them. But really, the big changes that everybody was looking for in terms of balance were coming from the 7.25 and the M4. We're seeing some M4 gameplay right now. And by the way, all the gameplay you've seen thus far has been recorded since patch 1.07 went live, so the M4 kill streaks. So with the M4, the damage range was reduced, which I didn't really notice all that much, but I did feel the small recoil increase that is very, very manageable on PC. With any decent loadout, the recoil pattern on the M4 is still, you know, almost completely vertical. There's hardly any horizontal recoil whatsoever. Hilariously, the M4 was nerfed again Tuesday, November 12th, that's today, with increased tipfire spread and decreased damage to the head. I have to get some more hands-on time with these new nerfs, but my assumption would be that it is still a top-tier AR. And along with that patch today, we have a big FAL buff with reduced recoil and increased ADS speed, as well as an EB14 buff that increases ADS speed. And I really like the style of slow, gradual balance changes in lieu of something like nerfing the M4 out of viability. I have seen more people using the AK. I'm not a big fan of the AK. I think it needs a buff. That's just me. Picking up another person's M4 variant there. And this is a new mode, well, new at least to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. This is Hardpoint, and this is different from HQ in the sense that it is kind of just king of the hill, meaning that if you're standing on the hardpoint, you're getting points, and if you're off the hardpoint, you are not getting points, and potentially the enemy team is if they're standing on it. And I like it a lot. It's a lot more dynamic and free-flowing, so it's something different and something enjoyable, and I think it does a good job of kind of leveraging the map's strengths. Especially Piccadilly, which, funny enough, has been the recipient of some much-needed spawn tuning in TDM and Domination as of today, as well as the Domination flag on B point has been moved from the fountain to the buses. But probably the biggest nerf that everybody was looking for, including myself, I honestly put the game down for a couple days towards the end there, right before the patch, because I was just sick and tired of dealing with this gun. Disgusting, despicable. Who would use this? I do, apparently. The 7.25 shotgun. The over-under breech loader, just the f***ing worst. I don't know how else to describe it. Disgusting range, incredibly easy to use, one-shot kill, 10 out of 10 times. But it has been nerfed, so the question is it enough? I think a lot of people are seeing this footage right now and saying, well, it's clearly not enough because you're getting kills with it. Well, good news, because as of today, Tuesday, November 12th, the 7.25 has been nerfed a second time with reduced range. In my opinion, that was the primary issue with the weapon, was its ability to get one-shot body shot kills at a significant distance. It puts up kind of a design barrier where other archetypes that are meant to succeed in CQC, like SMGs for instance, cannot. Now what's interesting is even after this initial 7.25 nerf, I was seeing a lot of other shotgun usage, so I'll be interested to see how shotguns as an archetype are balanced moving forward. There are still a lot of problems though, specifically when it comes to challenges and tracking of stats. So if you've done a challenge or tried to unlock a new reticle or done a daily, you know that the stat tracking either doesn't display or straight up doesn't track, and it can be very frustrating to try and figure out which it is. Sometimes I've wasted literal hours trying to get kills with an enemy's weapon that add up to no unlock, so that feels bad, and not something that I think is appropriate to be in a AAA Call of Duty annual release. So I hope that those kind of continue to get addressed, because I've still ran into the challenge tracking bugs even post-patch. But one thing that is fixed, charms, weapon charms, if you can unlock any and get past the challenge tracking, don't affect your hipfire spread anymore. That was a weird, quirky little bug that has been addressed. I also did a side-by-side comparison of a barrel that I wanted to use, the TacLite barrel for the M4, that supposedly reduces the ADS time. Before the patch, this was increasing ADS time, so I'm not sure if that is still the case. Kind of tricky to tell, but I think this speaks to a larger issue, which is just how granular and untrustworthy a lot of the attachments have turned out to be in terms of what they say they do versus what they actually do. So I definitely want some more clarity there. But overall, I think this patch did a lot to address the issues that I had that caused me to put down the game for a couple of days, and I'm definitely back into the full swing of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, really enjoying my time with it. So the folks at Infinity Ward and Activision clearly listening to what the community has to say, and I look forward to a lot more fixes, updates, and content as time goes on. If you enjoyed the video, shoot me a follow on Twitter @ThugandDuggan, and for all that stuff, you can keep it right here on IGN.